I'm not sure, but we can look. I always try to look on my mobile if I am.
I have my TV turned on the side here. I can kind of skip if we go live.
Yeah, I think because I am not. Sure, but we can look. I always try to look on my mobile if I am.
I have my TV turned on the side here. I can kind of skip if we go live.
Yeah, I think because I am not. Sure, but we can look. I always try to look on my mobile if I am.
I have my turned on the side here.
Something goofy. I think because I'm not. But we can look. I always try to look on my mobile. Something goofy. I think because I'm not. But we can look. I always try to look on my mobile. We have some echo. Can you hear it?
I don't hear that. Perfectly fine here. Do you have
some echo. Can you hear it? Yeah. Yes. Because I yeah, sorry. My fault, my big fault, because I just started watching our YouTube and I heard our voices and it was doubled and I didn't know what happened. It's
but I have my sound turned on off my TV.
Yeah, okay. So we have here some members who are just watching us. So so hello everyone. My name is Ladislav and this is Kurt. We are trying to introduce you how to measure contrast on JVC projector. So I will maybe switch to Czech language because I think some people from Czech are still watching us. So jmenuji se Láďa, tohle je Kurt a zabýváme se měřením kontrastu na JVC projektoru. So I will try sometime switching for different languages. So don't be afraid with that dialect. So, okay, so we prepared something like we would like to show you how to measure contrast. And basically, if you have some X-Rite iDisplay Pro and you want to measure contrast, we will try to show you how it's possible. So in this window, what you can see here, it's the free software for measurement contrast. I will try to switch our camera. So on the left side, you can see our X-Rite colorimeter. On the right side, it's a brand new JVC NZ800. On this YouTube, we will try to show you how it is working and how it can be accurate. So let's move to measure contrast. It's something what you can do in your home. If you are hobbyist or professional calibrator, you can do always with no issue and with no skill. It's on you. So I will try to new. So I will click new window. So in general, you will connect just X-Rite Display Pro. Click here and new. Click here and automatic. Don't be afraid. This is from in Czech language. So it's select. You will select your probe, and this things it's next or done. So dokončit. now you can see something that you want to measure ambient, because if you have their diffuser, for our some experience, it's good to add there some time. So we just select for 5 seconds. So I will switch to Czech languages because it will be for my friends in Czech. So takže pustíme tady ten program, který je teďka vlastně jako zadarmo. Dáme vlastně, jak jsem ukazoval, dáme nový, vybereme X-Rite jako takový a co je důležitý, tady nastavíme 5% a dáme OK. So now you can see some basic window in the software and you will just click, we need to select measurement for contrast. So measurements and contrast. Takže klikneme na measurement a na kontrast. Ano, cancelujeme, yes, we will cancel it. So we will measure here. So we will go here. Okay. I think we do something wrong. And the management in the pattern. So we will go here, configure it, because it's the lower contrast, it's really low. So we will click here 100% and click OK. Now we will try to continue and do measurement again. To znamená, že vlastně ta hodnota byla velmi nízká. Zkusili jsme teda vlastně nastavit přes measurement generátoru, nastavit konfiguraci a z 10% na 100. So we will try to measure again. So we have some numbers. We can see 38,760 contrast. It's smaller. It's smaller than that JVC announced, but it's depend on your settings, on your quality of the projector. So what we can do, we can measure many things. So on the projector, we have right now, we are measuring on the hybrid. So we can try the measure on 65,000 Kelvin and see how the contrast will be. If it will be better or worse. Takže měříme teďka na projektoru hybrid a zkusíme přepnout teplotu barev na 6,5 000 Kelvina a uvidíme, jak se nám to daří. So now we switch it to 65 Kelvin and we can try to measure again and see how can be different. Now you can see there is we can measure less contrast. So in the hybrid, we can measure higher contrast. So it's really depending on which your color temperature, what type of color temperature you have. So we can measure anything 75 Kelvin, which on some kind of review, they write it that 75 Kelvin on JVC projector is closer to D65. So we can see, takže nastavuji 7,5 tisíce Kelvina, aby jsme zjistili, jestli jsme blíže, protože na jedné zahraniční recenzi oznamovali, že to bylo více referenční. it is a little higher. It is a little higher. So, Kurt?
Yes, good evening from Denmark,
Yeah.
everybody.
So, I switch it to 75 Kelvin and we got a higher number in the contrast than we have on 65,000 Kelvin. So if we are going higher, we have the higher contrast, but it's not just 30. Yeah.
Should we give a little bit an overview of the meter setup?
Yeah, we can. So I will click on the video. So I will give you words. You can talk more about it.
I'm looking at the now. I'm looking at the data we have in the window in HC white, NC1 and NC2. That indicates the lux reading we got off the meter now, and we have around 14,000 lux on the white reading. That is very close to the meter's max limit. Basically, what I think we will have to illustrate for people is how to find the sweet spot or the optimum distance from the projector to measure the contrast, and also how to distinguish if you have a reliable contrast measurement by testing different distances to the projector. Kind of see that you're not too close to stalling the meter with too much light, or you're not too far back and getting too little light to measure the black reading. So Ladislav, if you, for example, move the meter, let's say 10 centimeters back, 4 inches back, and see if we can get a reliable around 32,000 on-off contrast.
Yeah, I can. So I will move back. So it's something about 5 centimeters. And we can do measurement and go okay, can look what we got here. So I move it the meter far away, about 5 or 8 centimeters, and this is our results.
And there we see we dropped from around 14,000 to 13,000 lux on the white. Can you mark the readings, Ladislav? Put the cursor there or something. So
40.
You have the white reading.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you change your over the ANSI test pattern window on the go button there, if you go to XY, big Y.
Yeah.
Again.
I will. Okay. And try again.
Yeah.
So this is our results.
Now you got 11,000, 10,000 on the white.
Mm-hmm.
Also explain people why we're getting a difference between the white reading and the ANSI 2, that's the max slide output, and that is due to the white reading being 100% like a full screen image, and the JVC don't have the capability to draw us as much light in a 100% window as it does in a, you said the ANSI is a 50% white and black, so you will get a higher reading in the ANSI pattern.
Yeah. So I will try to switch to Czech because it's important, it's to know. Takže vlastně nový projektory, které jsou laserový, už optimálně vlastně nemají rádi vlastně, aby fungovaly ve 100% okně, ale funguje zhruba optimálnější jako OLEDy vlastně v 10% okně. To znamená, že to je ten jako důvod, že máme strašně velký jas a pokud chceme větší jako kontrast, jako naměřit, tak bychom museli do 10% okna. So I will switch to English back. I just try to explain it a little bit about that 100% window and 10% window depending on JVC new projector, which was the last lasers and this configuration of the laser projector.
Ladislav, is there an option that you can put everything on the Teams window on laptop?
Yeah.
White screen, and we have a little bit of a delay for the live stream, so it's a little bit.
Yes, I can. So, I think we need to show the people the testing uniformity of the panel.
We could do one thing before. We could also try and move the meter far enough back to not pick up the black thing, to kind of show how that looks like, and maybe too close.
Okay, so I will move to close and a little back, a little on the right or left side.
Yeah, basically just to take it half a meter further back, see if we get no black reading.
Okay. Back, okay.
My generally what I'm typically targeting is something around the 10,000 lux. Is like a good sweet spot. 7,000-8,000 lux is somewhere you typically have a good black reading.
Okay.
When you have a 10,000 lux on the white reading.
Okay, we will try to focus on 10,000 because we had something about. So go and we will try to measure again.
And also, when this is a native contrast in max zoom, and if somebody wants to play with measuring higher contrast, closing down the iris, the window, we say from max stalling the meter to flipping the black, not picking up the black reading, the window distance that you can position the meter in will be smaller the higher contrast we go. So this is the easiest, what you can say, the easiest setup scenario with the fully open iris, with the minimum contrast of the projector.
Yeah, it is. So maybe I can go a little closer because it was far away, but it's depend.
They have a lot of light.
Yeah.
You have to go 50 centimeters back or something more, maybe. Have a lot of light at that projector.
Okay. Yeah.
And I can see Leo, he writes that the anti-contrast is a bit low. And yes, Leo, it is. We talked about that. It's not super bad, but it is, I would expect or have seen on the NC8 and the NC9 on good samples anti-contrast in around the 350 to 1. We, however, have to be a little bit careful. I don't think it's the problem with the room, but we have some glass and white walls. But typically with these ANSI, you can see we have 39 lux in the black reading. It takes a lot of poor or room reflection to offset that reading. So I very much doubt that you can gain much by going into this black velvet covered room.
Okay.
So that was a special reading. How far are you back now, Laszlo?
Something about 30 centimeters. I can go far.
You're still picking up and you're still maintaining around the same on-off contrast. Now the anti-contrast starts to drop a little bit, and that can be the positioning of the meter going close to the checkboard borders, or it can be that we have different coverage. The closer you go to the lens, the more of the pattern you cover. But typically the anti-contrast is some kind of like the positioning, because the squares is not uniform. So you can't expect moving around the meter that you get exactly the same results, but you are in the ballpark. So if it's 230 or it's 250, it's kind of like more like an indication.
So I go a little far. Okay. The light is lower, but the contrast ratio is still about the same.
You still have, if you notice the black reading, your big Y is still 0.186 lux, and typically the i1 Display Pro will keep up probably a little bit below 0.1. So as long as you have a good black reading, you will get a good contrast reading.
Yeah.
We have had a variation in on-off contrast, and basically from 31,000 to 32,000. That is absolutely acceptable light variations. So I think you can go even further back, but basically to show people, it's like, especially with these very bright projectors, it is very difficult to get a bad contrast reading. It's very accurate, it's very reliable, it's highly repeatable. The contrast, everybody can do this. If you just situate yourself a little bit around the software, get to know it, it's a very simple measurement. It doesn't take any special room requirements. You can see that like how you're doing it in the living room.
Yeah, it is.
With white walls, you have a glass windows on the side. As long as you don't have ambient light, and even a little bit of some light diode in the room or cell phone in the corner or something will not upset that reading, as long as we're in these levels. If we start to measure fully closed iris, it's a completely different ballgame. There everything gets a little more tricky, and we will start struggling with the meter's capabilities. I think, however, we should try run a fully closed iris measurement at some point.
Okay. I will do. So I will move the full iris. Okay.
And move the meter much closer.
Okay. So
try go like 60 centimeters from the lens for starter.
Okay. 60 centimeters. Okay.
For those in the US, that's about what, two feet.
I will try to focus on the center. So I will try to.
This meter lens I was using is the I1 Display Pro Plus. So it's the 2000 nit version. I have that one too, and I have the 1000 nit meter. I have not really noticed any difference in performance when you measure with the diffuser on. I've not really tested it thoroughly to see exactly what limit they clip with the diffuser.
Okay. So we have higher contrast or lower light. So I think, but the black reading is better.
You need to get much closer to the lens. Now you can see now we're 0.066 on the low reading, and we are 2,400 lux on the wide reading. So that's a little bit like we might be struggling with having enough light. So try put it like a lot closer.
Okay.
Is that fully closed?
Yeah, it's fully closed.
Yes.
It's fully closed. So we can measure. I will show the video how this is very closed to the projector right now. So I will start to measure. Okay. So can get
that looks something like what, 50, 60 centimeters now?
It's something like that. Yeah, we have a very higher number. 65,000. It looks like 65,000. Yeah, but it's not.
Can you try move it like 10 centimeters closer?
Yeah, I can.
We're still below 0.1, and we're still like we have a lot more headroom to light, so we can, if we can hit something like 10,000 lux on the wide reading.
Okay. Closer. Yeah. Closer. So now it's closer than was. I will go click.
What some might notice is that the anti-contrast have dropped from around 250 to around 200 to 1.
Okay. 82,000.
Yes. So that means that if that's an accurate reading, your projector is performing close to specification, right? On that one, that's what, 100,000 to 1? Now you see we have a black reading of 0.12, so it's above 0.1, and we have near 10,000 backslopes. So that now we get in that's a much better reading. You can also see we are inside the meters kind of comfort zone. I would try now. We have an almost 83,000 to 1. If we try move the meter 5 centimeters closer and see if we can repeat that result.
Yeah.
Well, we have to notice when we start measuring these 80,000 to 1, 100,000 to 1, we are, like I said before, in a narrow window of distance, like back and forth. The window where the meter is accurate is getting smaller, so it's more important with the right precision.
Yeah, it's closer. So I will drive. Click.
A good way to confirm it is to move the meter slightly back and forth inside that window. See if you can get 2-3 repeated contrast measurements with different distances. Then you know it's very likely a good reading.
To go again. So. So, okay. Now it's something about 88,000.
Yes. And you have to get a little bit closer.
Little bit? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We have to, if we want to use this number for anything, if we kind of like have to fact check it. We have to get 2-3 times repeatable results when we measure high contrast. Because this meter is not exactly designed for this kind of purpose. So as long as the contrast measurement keeps climbing, there's an indication of we are on the limit of our measurement capabilities. Probably in the dark reading, or it's always in the dark reading like this.
Okay. Okay. 91,000.
So we keep climbing.
It's keep climbing, but I need to see if there is some option how to get it closer.
Now we can see we are so close that the anti-contrast is flying off the pattern.
Yeah, and we'll need to look if this.
And we are getting close to the max reading. You cannot go much closer before it stalls on the white.
Okay, so it's really close. Right now it's really close. So
how close is that level in distance?
I think maybe 30 centimeters.
How much?
30.
Okay. There is also such thing as too close to kind of like multiple reflective surfaces getting a little bit messy. I have seen that, especially when you try to measure with decline. Because decline as a standard meter with the diffuser is completely worthless as a contrast measurement device.
Okay, it didn't measure nothing. I will try to gain. Maybe it's too much close.
Yeah, I think we hit the limit around 15,000 lux, so you're too close now. So I would say it's fair to say, and that's also my kind of experience, 80,000 to 1 on-off contrast is kind of like if you're very, very good at positioning is probably kind of the max contrast, I would say, comfortably to be fairly sure. Up to 60,000, 60, 70,000, these meters are good and accurate. From there up, it's a little bit like a game of location. So these meters cannot be reliably used for max contrast on a high contrast on a good sample.
Okay. Okay, so we know that we measure about 90, so it's good to know. But for the price point, this meter is amazing. If you want to measure contrast, and that meter,
I would say to the point of what a $300 US, it is the best meter you can get for the purpose. No doubt about it. It's even better. If I do an illustration, if you have the diffuser size of the meter fits somewhat the lens size. So you can say that the i1 Display Pro have a full size diffuser. So it's like a 1-to-1 with the lens size. If you take something, let me go pick that one up. If you have the Klein A10, we can see the light, the lens size, and if we compare that to the diffuser size, it's a very, very reduced diffuser size. That will say this basically works like an iris, and it closes down how much light we can get into the meter. And that means, basically my experience is, when you use the Klein to read off the screen and you put the original diffuser on and measure off the lens, it's equally unreliable. or it's not something I would rely on for information I would pass on. The tweak, I talked to Klein some years ago and asked if they had a factory diffuser with a good color balance. They did not, and they just said, go find something else. Here is it's a lens cap for a camera with a diffuser. It's a camera lens cap diffuser. I bought it to fit on the Klein. So now I have a full-size diffuser on the Klein meter. Now this is suddenly a very, very, very powerful contrast measurement device, because the Klein can measure extremely low readings and it goes to 10,000 nits. So in this configuration, the Klein will be able to measure, say, what is the highest I have measured? 300,000-400,000 to 1 contrast, dynamic contrast, and stuff like that, CRT level contrast. So this is my reference, but I will typically use, for just a fast setup, I would typically use the i1 Display Pro, and it's also the one I would prefer, because it's kind of like the Klein is not obtainable for most people. That's for nerdy people like us, or some others, right? And in a standard configuration, the i1 Display Pro is a more powerful meter for the contrast measurement, as long as you know its limitations. So it's basically all people need. And I even also think, I have not tested that one, I think you can go get away with one of the cheap spider meters, the Spider 4 or 5, that can measure the lens. You might even actually measure contrast with those. I would not use them, but I think you could situate yourself to get it set up and done.
And but I think they don't the last one they don't have diffuser, so you can measure.
No, and the previous one also did not have a diffuser, but they did have like a mesh in front. And for JVC AutoCal, they were used in a lens measurement configuration.
Yeah. Okay. So another point is that we will want to measure something like a contrast ratio in the minimal of zoom, because all our measurement was today done was on maximum zoom. So we would like to compare it to minimal zoom and see some kind of results.
Let's should we start by setting up what you can say the max open iris again?
Yeah, I will. Okay, so okay, maximum iris is done.
Now you are too close.
Yeah. Blah blah, and I can.
We already established we have around 31 to 32,000 to 1 in that configuration. So I think you have to move the meter, 1.5 meter back from the lens, and then go max zoom.
I will do.
That is how it's doing all the hard work today. I can just sit here.
Yeah. Okay, measurement is done. Measure. So it's on the back. I will show the video. How is the back? So right now, it's back. Something about 1 meter, maybe just 1 meter. It will 1 meter, and we will see what is going there. So we will.
Are you still in max zoom?
Yeah, I'm still in max zoom. So something happened, so I will try to.
You have to go up in measures again.
Try to open.
Find the pattern all the way on the top line.
So I think I need to go, because right now if open iris, full iris, I have something about 31,000.
31,600. That is in the area we measured before, right? So we have a very high repeatability, moving around the meter 20 times. We hit in that area 31 to 32,000 again.
Yeah.
And then you can go max zoom, but you will probably want to move the meter at least 20, 30 centimeters further back. Otherwise, I think it will stall because you get much more light.
Okay, so right now I have a maximum zoom, so it's better smaller zoom. Are you there?
I'm here. Oh, you dropped out a little bit. Yes, I think we should do the zooming into the smallest image possible now.
Okay. I'm doing.
And move the meter further back, because that will give a lot. You probably you're reducing the image size a lot, so you throw a lot of light into the meter now.
Okay, it's going to the smallest one. Yeah, it's on maximum. I will show in the video. This is the smallest size in this projector, so I will need to go far away.
And what I see you doing there, Ladislav, you have a pattern on, so you basically have the center line, horizontal and vertical center line to aim at. Put the cross right in the middle of the diffuser, right?
Yeah, it is. I will show on the video how this looks.
It's a good way to do it, to not have to move the meter around.
So, okay. So we can measure. Okay, so now click. Yes. So in max, lights is bright, and we have 44,000 contrast.
That's quite some gain. Can you move the meter a little further back? Just try to measure that one, see if we repeat that.
I can, but I need to figure out how. It will be a little complicated to move it. I don't think it will be possible right now, because I can move with something, and it's not possible right now to move it.
Okay. It is a contrast gain of around 40% from minimum to maximum zoom.
We have.
That's quite a lot.
I will look.
That varies quite a lot from projector to projector. And the trend I see is that the higher native contrast you have, the higher ratio of contrast gain you get with the zoom. But we also have to remember that when you zoom, you also lose the light. So if you move the projector back, so the throw is also, you fill the same screen size, it will have about the same ratio as you can go with the lens zoom, and you can do the iris to adjust. And if you, let's say now you have moved the projector much further back in the room, to throw on the same screen. You've gained contrast, but you've also lost a significant amount of light. So therefore, in any calibrated setting, you will have to open up the iris to get the light output back. So it doesn't really matter what kind of zoom range you have, because your final calibrated setting will end up being the same if you have a specific target nit on screen.
Yeah.
What we could try also, Tesla, is we should try to run. This is, I think we should put it back in minimum zoom, and then I think we should try run the high laser, the 50% laser, and the 0% laser output, and see how that changes the contrast.
Okay. So I will put on the 46 and the size still minimum, or
no? I think we just go max zoom again.
Okay.
I think we have to be fair and say most people use this projector in a near max zoom setup scenario.
Okay.
It's very rare to see. Most people are restricted by the throw distance and can typically be struggling to get far enough back to fill the screen. I can't recall a setup where I have seen anything running like a medium zoom or medium throw distance, and not at all any long throw distance.
Okay. And it's on same position. I just make a better target.
You put the meter closer.
No, it's in the same position.
I think we need to put it a little closer again.
Yeah. Okay.
And as we drop the light output, we will need to move closer and closer to the lens.
Okay. Control. So big.
I kind of like if people uses the white reading as basically a measurement device for the distance, I would try target around 10,000 lux. Doesn't really matter if it's 11,000 or 8,000.
Okay. I need to.
You see if you have 14,000 lux, you're too close to the lens. If you have say 5,000, 6,000 lux, you're too far back.
So I will need to.
What are we looking at here, then?
What?
What are we looking at now? Is that a medium laser?
It's a medium laser.
Okay, you got a 31,000. Can you try run that? The anti-contrast, is that a different location? I can see the anti-contrast is off. Is the meter centered?
It's centered. It's in the center, but I can look again. It is, if the center is right. It is. It's on the center. You can see. is in the center. But maybe I can take the colorimeter closer to the projector and see if this will be some differences.
We have an anti-contrast error. It's just like it's measuring the side of the NC pattern or something.
Yeah.
The next.
Okay, so I will try measure again. No, it's closer, but it's not higher.
Now we've got a higher one of contrast. What was that laser level 46 you said? Or?
Yeah, 46.
If I go to like minimum laser.
Okay, I'm doing on the minimum laser.
How far back is the meter now? Distance.
It's quite close. If I will switch the camera, it's close. It's about something about maybe 50 centimeters.
Okay.
So projector is laser on 0, and we can try the measurement again. Okay. Okay, we have something about 26,000. White is 6,088. Maybe I can go a little closer.
We have a good black reading there. It's 0.26. I don't like it. What I noticed was that you have an increase in contrast in the medium laser setting. That was a little bit odd. And your NC contrast basically lost a lot.
Yeah. What I can try to think is that what I can see, I can increase the light because I see noises from the projector, but not on. If I'm going about something.
I'm looking a little bit. I noticed before. I'm looking. It's just like you have some kind of cover in front of the probe sticking out that throws light.
I don't think it is. I don't.
If you show the meter setup, what is that thing that is sticking out in front of your meter?
It's
like you have covered with a cloth.
It's a cloth. It's cloth with no reflection.
Is it possible that we can remove that altogether and nothing is in front of the meter, so it's just hanging out in open space?
Yeah, I can. I just can switch it.
Because I will think we have an error reading here. There's something wrong.
Okay, so I will try to move back to 46. So there was some error measurement from the beginning. I will see, and I will need to move a little higher. It's not in the middle. Back. And we can try measure. Go. It's too much.
Yep, that's all it. Did you remove the cloth in front of the projector or the meter?
Yeah.
And there's nothing sticking out in front?
No, nothing.
Okay, so that you move it back in the same distance as before. I think we should get hopefully get a good NC contrast reading.
So we can go again. Yeah. This is on 46%. 46 laser.
Okay. Yes, so basically we have no contrast drop, and now we're back to the 250, 257. We actually gained a little bit of NC contrast now. So that piece of cloth actually did somewhat disturb the NC reading.
Yeah.
So take note, never stick anything in front of the meter. So basically what we can say is that the projector will maintain an on-off contrast down to at least half laser power, and then it will drop some off down to minimum laser power.
Yeah, I can try right now, measure the minimum, because we will know. We can see our measurement. So I think now we don't close, it will be better.
It's approximately a 15% contrast drop in minimum laser.
So can measure. Okay. Put this closer. It's just like this. It's something about 40 centimeters from the lens. And we will try to measure it again. Right now it's laser on minimum.
Okay.
So close. It's so close. On minimum. So we need to
Too close.
So always about 10 centimeters far, and can do measure. Okay, it's in minimum laser on 0. And we can see something about 26,000.
Yes. So we have that around 15% contrast drop from max to minimum, like laser. And as it looks, we maintain contrast from high to medium lasers. I noticed the shelf that the projector is on. Ladislav, could you take that piece of fabric that you covered the stick with before and put that on the white shelf underneath the projector and see if that moves the answer contrast any bit? Just cover the border, the edge of that on that shelf, and see if it still measures 256, or you have some kind of reflection on that white border offsetting the reading.
Okay. You mean this?
No, on the shelf under the projector, right under the lens, you're on like a white table or white shelf. You can see in the image now on the film, there's like the white edge of the shelf or the table.
Yeah, you mean from the table?
Yes, the table the projector is standing on. If you're still online and listening, what kind of anti-contrast did you get on the NC8?
It's I don't remember exactly because I had two PCs NZ8. And I'm trying to focus on uniformity because first one have three corners, and my second one just had two corners.
Yeah, bright corners.
Yeah, bright corner. So for me, the uniformity was the worst things on the projectors.
It's the uniformity looks quite nice on this projector. We looked a little bit of that prior to this.
I think we can present it. Later, but I will want to try to measure. Is there something better?
My initial thoughts about this new series is from the samples I have seen tests of the paper tests. It looks like they generally have better uniformity, black uniformity. So hopefully we're going to see a general improvement.
I hope so. I will. So I can show the uniformity test. How this looks. So in general, just white point, nothing more. I will move more closer to see the projector height.
And click the hide button on the remote control so you turn off the panels.
Yeah. Somehow you was lost. Maybe
I was banned for YouTube from talking about JVC contrast.
I think I have some message here. Your chat was disconnected. You will be reconnected. We needs to be talk more carefully. But what we saw on the paper test is that that new JVC projector was already very improved.
I have seen paper tests from different. I think I've seen from one NC800 and one NC900 for now, and they looked absolutely much better than most of the NC8 and NC9.
Yeah.
I have seen an NC8 that was absolutely perfect, but that's kind of a unicorn.
Yeah. But I have small surprise. When my customer bought a new JVC NZ800, and he promised me that I can measure. So I think we will have another video about this reviewing and this testing for this projector. So
that would be nice also kind of to compare it to the NC800.
I hope that I think I will have in my hand NZ9. So I think I will have an opportunity to compare NZ9 to NZ900.
Perfect. So will it be possible to do a dual projector setup?
I think yes.
That's what we all want to see.
Yeah. I think here for some steward screen, so it will be good enough to good material for the screen material. So there will be opportunity to test it.
It's kind of when we talk about native, basically minimum calibrated on-off contrast.
Yeah.
So that's the minimum contrast we can expect in unless we go below, let's say 50% laser, as it seems. That's about the minimum, around 31,000 to 1 contrast we can expect from this projector.
Yeah.
And then you can say, if we have an NC900, what are we expecting that one to deliver in a minimum contrast setup? Hopefully, it should have a better native on-off. It's however not how it typically works. We rarely see that 31,000 to 1 is normally above average of what we have seen on the NC8 and 9. But again, we might see a trend of higher native contrast.
I hope it will have a higher.
I would personally, I would hope if you have NZ900, I would hope for something like 35,000, maybe 14,000 to 1 native contrast. But we also have more lights. So what basically matters is if you put those two projectors on identical screen, what will be your calibrated contrast? Like when you have closed the iris down and dimmed your laser to the level you want, or set what will be the calibrated contrast.
Yeah, I think we will need to wait for this, so that I will have some opportunity to calibrate it, and after that we can remeasure this, what contrast it have after calibration. We have some message here on the chat. Leo Geinstein, my NZ8 have 30,000 native contrast, and NC about 350 to 1. I think it's good.
It's a good sample.
It's a good sample.
It's a very decent sample. I know Leo is from Australia, and he have a lot of JVC experience. Maybe not always positive, but he definitely have a lot of experience, and he have measured a lot of JVC projectors.
Yeah, so I will. Good sample. So, what we have for the next step on today? What we can present to our friends here on the chat on YouTube, or
I think there's not so much more about the contrast. You can say we have not measured the contrast with and without the color filter in dates. I would expect the color filter will typically, what I've seen, I don't think I tested this on the laser. Typically it will increase on-off contrast, but it will also eat some light output. So we could, what is the latest reading we got in this setup now?
We have, I will need to look, we have 0. So I can increase on medium, and I can switch to the filter and see
what happens.
What's happened, right? Yeah. Okay, what's happened?
Everything have an impact.
Yeah.
And also to everybody that is listening, this is not, contrast measurements like this will never be 100% stable. It will never be like exact numbers, because it is a representation of time and place that you measure. Nothing is uniform. Light output might change a little bit in the projector. Heating up will change the panel's performance, stuff like that. So don't get hung in variations of plus minus 1, 2000 to 1. It's not about if you have 29,000 or 31,000 to 1 in contrast. It's whether you have 13,000 in 1 to contrast, or 18,000, or 25,000, or 30, or 35, or 40,000 ish.
Okay, this is with the filter on the medium. I think I can go a little far away from the lens, because our lights is maybe too high. But 33,000, it's a good number. Okay, Leo, just thank you.
I see. You're welcome, Leo. We have 32,000 is the highest contrast we have measured in Israel. Now, we did measure 33,000 in the mid laser earlier. It fluctuated a little bit.
Leo just asked on the sharpness on NZ8. it's amazing. It's amazing. It's very sharp. It's very sharp with no upscaling. It's very sharp. When I just switch it to the power and run there some pattern, I was surprised at how sharp it is, because I saw some NZ9 in the past, and this looks very great, very amazing pictures they have. So
it is something I see that is discussed in the forums, and some people are indicating that it might be some kind of like enhancement or something, but that's a topic for a different day, right? To kind of distinguish, is it a panel resolution thing? Is it an optical improvement? There is the panel block where the panels are located, where you have that prism that collects the light from all three panels. That one is a huge part of the performance of the projector. That's basically where your panels discern the on-off. The anti-contrast is kind of like in that block. Most of the performance is in that tiny space where you basically have that sealed block with the panels and the light collector from the panels. Of course, the lens is also important. And it would be a positive development if JVC have improved of lens performance or general quality, because that have been a little bit lacking or on decline.
yeah, and Leo just wrote a message. You have a bad sharpness with the lens. The head lens replacement is great now. Yeah.
And that's something to learn basically. If people have sharpness uniformity, let's say, they can focus it in the center, but it's over focused in the right side and under focused on the left side. Contact your dealer, explain them the problem, get it fixed, because it's not uncommon to see, and it's not okay for projectors in this price range.
Yeah.
It can be fixed, and it should be.
And for the price, this price point, it must be.
It's not a projector for the general consumer market or for the masses. It is for the few enthusiasts, right? Or somebody that had enough money to burn.
Okay. What else we can present on this YouTube?
Did you move the meter back and measure again?
Yeah, I can. I will click remote. So lens control.
I don't know if it's my video feed, but everything looks frozen. Oh, I see it again.
Yeah. Because I was there standing and tried to move probe to the center. So I go again. We will see. No, it's not. It's just brand new. It have 7 hours right now, maybe 8.
30,000. And then if you measure that and you change the filter, then we have kind of like the difference.
Okay, I will. So disable filter.
That is with the filter on.
Yeah. And now will be off. Just hearing some noises. Blick, blick, blick. Okay, and measure again. And we can see what we will have. Okay, this is with no filter. No, E-shift AK is quiet. It's quiet. It's I can hear it. I can hear it. So if you are looking for improvement in that way, you will enjoy it.
So we had a slight loss of contrast. It's fairly close. It doesn't look like the filter do really any good or any harm there. It's an 800 to 1 difference in on off and a little bit on the anti-contrast, but that's not something I worry about.
Yeah.
That's that looks good.
Didrik just
You're late to the party. You have to watch all 1.5 hours. To sum it up, we couldn't exactly measure that, but we measured around 90,000, but it was a little bit unstable. We are at the edge of the meter there.
I hope it's not lottery because I think that the new panel, new laser technology was come to this new JVC projectors will increase better uniformity and better anything in this new JVC line. I hope I really hope so.
We all hope so. I think from past experience, I think those of us who have had our hands on more than a few samples, we have seen huge variations in uniformity and performance, right?
Yeah.
And the big hope is that JVC this time around really have like generally improved, and they have written the specs up, so the expectation is higher than ever.
All hopes. They were all hopes. I have hopes for my friends who just bought or will bought JVC projector. They will have a luck and they will have a good sample, or it will be not important because all JVC projector will go through some control and they will try to focus on the quality.
Experience says that it is a good idea now, and this video is also a little bit for the purpose of making average consumers a little more comfortable measuring contrast. It's not something you get an expert at the first time you try it, but I would recommend play with the software. HCFR is a free download. It takes a little bit of time to play around with it, but go play with it. Try do some measurements. Use the Facebook, the JVC Projector Owners Group. Welcome to ask questions. We'll help as much as we can. Sometimes we can hook up on Messenger, and sometimes I try to help people via video link or team viewer or whatever we can do. There is a limit to how many people we can support. There's also a general lack of time in this world, but try to do our best.
Yeah.
Yes, after all, better than it's better to help one guy measure contrast than writing 10 posts on a forum somewhere.
Yeah, it's always better. and I hope this video will help to everyone to get some idea how to measure, because it's very important. If you will try to calibrate something which you will know that you have such a slower contrast, you will lose black. So why there will be no reason why you are buying JVC projector. If you will,
it's the main selling point. That is the contrast and the black level.
Okay, so do we have some another point on this YouTube review, or we can?
I think basically the only thing I would say, I think we have covered the contrast thing as well. We can always do another video on it if more people have some questions to answer, if there's a demand. But I would also say what I think we didn't cover is this is kind of like we've shown the performance test part of it. But to my point, you cannot do a proper projector calibration if you don't measure your actual contrast.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's right.
To the point that if the gamma curve is calculated from your white point to your black point, and if you're trying to correct, especially out of the black, and I think we should cover that in a different video, how we calibrate the near black levels and how important they are. And in that scenario, you are absolutely have to measure accurate contrast levels, and that is typically very hard off the screen, and you will often be better off running off the lens like we do here. You can create a custom white point and all that, but I think we should cover that in a different video.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I hope that we will have a lot of demands from the Facebook and from the friends of JVC or Sonic projectors or whatever, that we will have some requests. So if you are watching this video and you have some demand or some idea what you want or something what you are interested to know, let us know, and we will try to make another video where we'll try to introduce you or explain you something a little bit about your topic, what you are just interested. So I think we can close this interview review on the contrast. So I'm really glad that you all come to visit us, and thank you for your support on this YouTube channel. So
thank you very much, and thank you for today, and hope to see you later.
Okay, so thank you, and see you next time.
Bye.